Hello everybody, it's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books. Now, what I thought I would do while all this nonsense is going on and we're in lockdown is, instead of doing my reviews and news, I'm just going to do what I've been reading recently and just cover 3 books. So every 3 books I'll do my thoughts on it, really, because the reviews and news is slightly longer video, and I think it's nice to just have something we don't have to concentrate on for too long. And also, there's not much publishing news to impart, is there, because of everything that's happening. Everything's all disrupted. So I'm going to just do books I have been reading, and without further ado, here's book 1. So it's Snowdrops, A.D. Miller. Now, this has been on my bookshelf forever. Barter Books, it's one from Northumberland. And I can't remember, did I get it out for I got it out for something recently. And I thought, oh, I'm really interested in that. I'm going to give it a go. I haven't touched it yet. So it's a bit like a British spy in Moscow. And there's he gets involved with a lady over there, and can she be trusted or not? It's one of those sort of things. And all these bodies are turning up in the snow, and there's something not quite right going on. Well, I do have to say I didn't finish. I DNF'd this one. I just couldn't get into it at all. It was quite drab, and it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize in 2011. Whether it's the wrong time, because we want something a bit uplifting and we don't want to be reading long, drawn-out, drab books, do we really? So it may well be that, but this will be going to the charity shop after. When we're let out, when we can go places again, this will be going. So DNF that one. Yeah. It may well be. It's very male orientated, very male. Sometimes some books, the writing style is, very, you can imagine, it's not the James Bond suave, sophisticated, Daniel Craig sort of book. It's more like a miserable old, all facts and figures about Cold War and stuff like that. David was panicking then because I was looking at him. Grumpy old men, middle-aged men.
Thank you.
Oh dear. Right, next. This is Mother, Hannah Begbie. This is one going back to March Mystery Madness. And I was very interested in this one. It's from my haul that I did, Buzzword Family, and I chose some books. It's in the cards down below if you haven't seen it. Chose some books, mother, sister, brother, wife, husband, that sort of thing. And I was so excited for this one. And this is Kath, 25 perfect days with her newborn daughter, and then Mia's deadly illness diagnosed. So this is about Kath and her husband. They've been trying for a family for a while. They've been through IVF and all sorts of different avenues, and eventually they do have a baby, so they're totally delighted. But unfortunately this baby has been diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. So I feel that the first half of the book is really well written. It gives you, I think, you're pulled in with it. You understand the emotions that Kath and her husband are going through, getting used to the fact that this long-awaited baby arrives, and she has obviously this life-threatening condition. And I started this before we even started thinking about lockdown. But in some respects, if you've a child with cystic fibrosis, they've got to be very, very careful that their immune system isn't overcompromised by various triggers, various sensors, because then it does trigger a respiratory response, and it can be fatal. And at one time, I remember when I first started nursing, They weren't given, children that were born with CF weren't given a long lifespan. It's totally different now because there's so many more medical advances. Nevertheless, they've got to be so careful. So she's really struggling with this. I think she's got some postnatal depression as well, personally, and she's struggling with this. Joins a group for other families that have got children with CF. Her husband doesn't want to go. He doesn't think it'll be any use. Anyway, she goes to this group and she meets a father of a child who's a teenager. His daughter's a teenager, and of course he's been through all the emotions and the trials and the tribulations of it all. And she's feeling very sorry for herself, his Kath. And it's as if she's the only one going through all this, not her husband. And, she embarks on a relationship with the father of this teenager. Now, up until that point, I felt that it was really a well-written book. I felt that you could feel the emotions. I think there was a lot of she'd obviously done her research, so there was a lot of good information about CF, and you really felt as if you were, living through this with her. I think she made some very, she wasn't quite acting with a straight thinking mind, hence why I think that she perhaps had postnatal depression. However, I ended up DNFing it because it felt like, you see, to me, this would have been an excellent book carrying on with like a family drama story about her and her husband and a baby and everything, and continue with the theme of the CF. But it turns into a thriller, and it turns into, there's something about him, there's something about this guy. I never found out what it was because it just didn't gel. The other half in the story started to be a psychological thriller, and I'm not sure that how it started and what the book wanted to be didn't work for me. So I stopped reading it because I didn't think that book lended itself to then, of going on to being something suspicious about this guy. But I think it's one of those you'll have to decide for yourself. Worth reading for the first section, the emotions there for the CF, but no, weren't keen. So that's the mother, Hannah Begbie. Then the third book, and again this was for a March Mystery Madness, was Pretty Baby by Mary Kubica, or many that call this name call it Kubica, but booktube wise I hear everybody call her Mary Kubica, and I can't find out if that's the correct translation, not translation, pronunciation, that's it. So again, this is for March Mystery Madness, another mystery thriller, baby in it. So again, it was from my Buzzword family, and I've never read anything by Mary Kubica, and you see a lot of her on BookTube. I know Nicole from Girly Girl Bookworm. Yeah, Girly Girl Bookworm. I always wanted to say Janet for Swirly Girly Reads, but it's Girly Girl Bookworm. Nicola, she reads her quite a lot, and I believe she has quite a large American audience, so I thought, yeah, I'll give her a try. I thought I wasn't going to like her writing style. It started very slowly, and goodness me, it needed a bit of a kick to get going. But I am glad that I continued with it, because I did give it 4 stars in the end. And what we've got here is we've got Heidi, and Heidi's married. She's got a reasonable life, she's got a husband, she's got a teenage daughter, but she feels sorry for this girl that's on the street with the baby. And she sees her around and she's struggling. You can tell that she's homeless and she feels sorry for her. So she starts by taking her for, you know, a few meals to look after her and try to help her. And then eventually she says, oh, why don't you come and live in our house? Yeah, total stranger off the street. And you know, I can understand that you'd feel concerned for a young girl with a baby, homeless. And I can understand being wanted to be helped. But, you know, to me, you'd go and get her the professional help. You'd go and, you know, take her to some agencies that can sort her out and help her get her home and that sort of thing. You wouldn't suddenly, well, I don't think you'd suddenly take her home with you. You know, and let her set up store with this baby. Well, anyway, so that's what she does, much to the annoyance of her husband and a teenage daughter. And it's a very strange relationship that that there is between her. It's her and this girl. And it seems to me that there are issues there. There are issues as why she wants to have a baby there. And I think she's more interested really in having the baby there and being able to look after a baby rather than looking after the girl. Yeah, so I don't want to say too much more because I think, you know, it's difficult to say much more without giving the plot away. I will certainly read more of her. I'm glad that I didn't give up on it. As I say, it was very slow to begin with. It dragged on and on and on, you know. We were a third through the book and she'd only just given her first meal in a cafe. So, you know, you can imagine, I was thinking, crikey, when's she going to get to their house? Yeah, very good, very twisty-turny, very intriguing mystery. So I did give it 4 stars, and yeah, I'd be interested to see what her other books are like. So if you fancy finding out what happens, and you know, if you, like me, think she didn't make very wise decisions by just inviting anybody off the street with a baby to come home with her, then let me know. So there we go. There's 3 that I've been reading recently. I've just read a 5-star read, so that'll be coming soon. So I'm pleased because I was getting really slumpy and thinking, crikey, I don't fancy reading. It's hard, isn't it, at the moment, I think, to read and concentrate. But there we go. There's 3 of my recent reads. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I want to get to that 1,000. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.